Britain is reeling. In a stunning twist today, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has publicly called out Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer and triggered a chain reaction of shock, rage, and chaos across London and beyond. What began as diplomatic remarks has exploded into public outrage, political crisis, and global implications. Stay tuned, because what you're about to see could reshape the balance of power between nations. This isn't just politics. It's a breaking moment. Let's dive in. Here's how we arrived at this flashpoint. Over recent months, Prime Minister Keir Starmer's government took a high-profile foreign policy turn, announcing that Britain will recognize a Palestinian state unless certain conditions are met. The Washington Post +2 AP News +2 Meanwhile, in Israel, Netanyahu has been vocal about what he perceives as threats to Israel's security and alliances. On 2 October 2025, after a deadly terrorist attack on a synagogue in Manchester, Netanyahu publicly attacked the British government, linking the attack to what he called weakness in the face of terrorism. The Guardian +1. He accused Britain of failing to curb anti-Semitism and of policies that reward terrorism. So, when Starmer's government made diplomatic moves that Israel strongly opposed, tensions were already simmering. Today's event is not spontaneous. It has been building in the background: geopolitics, domestic pressure, historic legacies, and raw emotion. And then, the moment of explosion, Netanyahu publicly stated, via social media and official remarks, that Starmer's stance on recognizing Palestine amounted to rewarding terrorism. The Washington Post +1. He said Britain's actions were setting a precedent that threatens Britain's own security. The statement was blunt, unpredicted, and direct. In London, the impact was immediate. Footage shows protests outside Downing Street and outside Israeli diplomatic offices. One segment of activists cheered Netanyahu's comments. Another section of British Jews and civil society groups expressed shock and alarm. Political insiders inside. Westminster say Starmer's team was caught off guard, scrambling to respond while media outlets ran the story as a constitutional embarrassment. The twist here, this isn't just a diplomatic spat. It's a rare moment when an allied leader has publicly faulted Britain's premier in such sharp terms, live, with cameras rolling. And for Britain, it becomes not just foreign policy, but domestic legitimacy. What are the consequences? First, immediate. The UK government has been forced into a damage control mode. Starmer's office released a statement reaffirming Britain's commitment to Israel's security, but also defending its moved foreign policy posture. Analysts say this will cost him politically, at home and abroad. Reuters +1. Second, the social impact. British Jewish community leaders have expressed alarm at the tone and implications of Netanyahu's remarks. Some believe the UK government must now do more to address anti-Semitism and to restore trust. At the same time, campaigns for Palestinian rights are gaining momentum in Britain, with this dispute providing fresh energy. Third, global ripple. Allies and adversaries are watching. If Britain can be publicly chastised by Israel in such a manner, what does that signal for other key relationships? With the US, the EU, the Gulf. Could this mark a weakening of Britain's diplomatic standing, or a realignment of its strategic choices? For the viewer, it means we are seeing real-time how a foreign leader's public condemnation can destabilize not just nations, but domestic politics, media narratives, and civil society trust. So why does this matter to you? Because this moment combines three powerful forces: diplomatic strategy, national identity, and public perception. On the politics front, Britain has long positioned itself as a global actor. But this incident underscores that even major powers can find themselves publicly challenged by smaller or allied states. It raises questions about how Britain balances moral diplomacy, national interest, and historical commitments. On the societal front, the dispute touches on themes of anti-Semitism, terrorism, national security, and the rights of minorities. How Britain navigates these issues affects social cohesion, trust in government, and the narrative of who's really safe and who's being left behind. For you, as a viewer, this is more than headlines. It's about how policy decisions ripple into everyday life, how a statement by an overseas leader can make you think differently about your government's strength, your nation's values, your place in the world. So here's the question: does this public showdown mark the start of a new era, where Britain's alliances are tested, its foreign policy independence challenged, and its domestic politics realigned? What do you think happens now? Will Starmer's government recover? Will Israel's stance force Britain back down, or is this just the beginning of something much larger? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown illuminating, hit like, share with someone trying to make sense of global politics, and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into where this story leads next. Thanks for watching. And remember, the lines of power are often drawn where we least expect them.